Good morning, dear students of class 12. Welcome to the English online learning class. Today we are going to take up value points of the poem A Thing of Beauty. So, as discussed earlier about the poet John Keats, who was born in London in the year 1795 and he died in Rome in 1821 at the young age of 25 due to illness. He is a romantic poet and his poetry is characterized by sensual imagery in his most popular works, which is a series of odes, a lyrical poem which is meant for a particular subject. Today, his poems are one of the most sought after creations in English literature. This particular poem, A Thing of Beauty, is an excerpt from his poem Endymion, a poetic romance, 1818, and which is considered to be an epic poem. The background of this poem, it is based on Greek mythology about a shepherd named Endymion, his quest for his love Dinah, and how his quest he falls in love with an earthly maiden who later turns out to be Dinah herself. A Thing of Beauty. Summary. If you look at the summary of this poem, it is a poem taken from a collection of poems, Endymion, a poetic romance written by the famous poet John Keats. The poet says that beautiful thing is a source of endless joy. It has eternal beauty which never fades away. A beautiful thing is like a shady shelter which gives us sleep full of sweet dreams, good health, and relaxation. Our attachments to earthly things are like a flowery wreath. They are traps which bind us to the materialistic things and keep us away from eternal happiness. The earth is full of hatred, greed, negativity. According to the poet, the gloom and sadness caused by this negativity fades away with the positive vibes of the beautiful things that surround us. The poet lists out some of the beautiful things that surround us. As the saying goes, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. He says that the numerous creations of God, like the sun, which gives us energy, the moon's beauty, the trees, which gives us shade, are the natural beauties around us. The various animals, like the sheep that surround us, make our world lively. Here, innocent sheep has a biblical reference. Probably he is referring to the innocent creatures who are under the care of Jesus Christ, who is considered to be the shepherd. The pretty flowers like daffodils make the world green and lively. The flowing streams of water cool and refresh us in the hot summer season. The forests, which are full of pretty musk rose flowers, are the beautiful sight to the eyes, and the fragrance which fills the entire atmosphere with a lot of happiness. All these things are the things of beauty. Also, the poet widens his idea of beauty. The stories of brave soldiers, the lessons of history, the soldiers who sacrifice their lives to protect their people are beautiful and inspiring. These beautiful things are like a fountain of immortality bestowed upon us by God. They inspire us to live on and maintain our faith in goodness. Now, if you look at the line-wise explanation of this poem, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Bower is a shady place under the tree. The poet says that beauty stays forever. It never fades away. Rather, it increases with the passing time. The perception of the poet regarding beauty is that it never goes off with the passing time. Rather, it beautifies more and more. For the poet, beauty is like a beautiful shady tree under whose shade all creatures can sleep peacefully and enjoy good health. It gives physical peace, mental relaxation, and spiritual solace. If we look at the literary devices, the rhyme scheme AA, BB, C, forever, never, keep, sleep, breathing, alliteration. There's a use of consonant sound at the start of two words which are close in series. Let us look at these two words. Here, sleep and sweet. Sir, sir. Metaphor, bower, quiet. Calmness of the bar is compared to the calming effect of beautiful things. These are the literary devices used in the first stanza. If we look at the next stanza, therefore on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth, of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and overdarkened ways, made for our searching, yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. If you look at this word morrow, means the following day. Wreathing, surround, encircle. Despondence, depressed. Gloomy, sad. The poet says that every day it is the beauty which fills us with the spirit to live. It is the beauty which builds the desire in us to live, though there are sad moments and cruel people around us. So, beauty is what is harmonizing us, it is binding us together. Otherwise, life is full of sad moments also. So, here the poet wants to say that without beauty, the earth will be full of cruel people, sad and gloomy moments, because there is the inhuman dearth of noble natures. Dearth, shortage of noble natures, of good people. It is the beauty which is created by God which helps us to remove the sadness from our hearts. That is, it moves away the pall from our dark spirits. Literary devices, there is anaphora, use of the same word in two consecutive lines, like of noble natures, of all the unhealthy, alliteration, use of the consonant sound at the start of two words which are close in series, like band and bind. N in noble nature, sir in some shape. Metaphor, wreathing a flowery band. The beautiful things of our life bind us to the earth. Then there is inversion, normal order of words is reversed. Are we wreathing a flowery band? Instead, we are wreathing a flowery band. There is inversion. Then the next stanza. Such the moon, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils, with the green world they live in, and clear rills, that for themselves a cooling covert make, gaze the hot season, the mid-forest brave. Now, boon. Boon is a blessing. Rills, small stream. Break is a process to slow down. Here, the poet describes the beautiful things which are present on earth. These are the sun, moon, trees, flowers, daffodils, and the rivers. The poet says that all these things are like a blessing bestowed on all the creatures or by earth, by God. He further describes that the trees provide us with shade, flowers with their beauty, and rivers with their coolness during the hot summers. Now, here we find that for simple sheep, here the poet has a biblical reference. He's referring to the simple people, the innocent people also. Uh, all of these are the beauties of nature which are like a boon for us. Boon, blessings. Literary devices, alliteration, use of consonant sound at the start of two words which are close in series. Sir in sprouting, shady, simple sheep. Sir, cooling coward. Imagery, trees giving shade, sprouting shady boon. Growing process of daffodils, daffodils with the green world they live in. Clear, clean river streams, clear rills. So these are the imageries. Then antithesis, opposite words placed together. Old and young trees. Then coming to the next stanza. Rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the domes we have imagined for the mighty dead, or lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring on to us from the heavens spring. Grandeur, high rank, or socially important. Grandness, greatness, splendidness, mighty, enormous, immortal, never dying, brink, edge. Now here the poet further carries on with a description of the more beautiful things present on earth, such as the beautiful musk rose, which have such a nice fragrance. Now he further widens his definition of things of beauty. He includes, apart from the gifts of nature, things like literature, lessons of history, the rise and fall of empires. Then he describes the tales of mighty warriors who have laid their lives for their countries or for humanity. He sees grandeur of the dooms. He sees splendidness in the downfall also. And these inspirational stories where these mighty warriors have sacrificed their lives. He says that these beautiful things are also gifts from God for all of us because they are a source of inspiration. They are like nectar given by God to us, and these are those beauties which are immortal and give us a reason to live on this earth despite having so many sorrows in our life. Literary devices, alliteration, use of consonant sound at the start of two words which are close in series. Then it is in have heard. Metaphor, immortal drinks, beautiful objects of nature are forever like never-ending portion of a drink. Rhyme scheme is used in every stanza of the poem. Forever, never, keep, sleep, dead, red, etc. Then imagery, bushes full of musk roses, sprinkling of fair musk blooms, books describing valor of fighters, grandeur, mighty dead, God providing us with the best things pouring from heaven's ring. So here we are through with the literary devices of this poem. Read the poem once again and come up with your problems. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care.